Hello, it's me, CircleTunes HD, the guy that's known worldwide for playing every single video game and not only beating each one, but 100%ing all of them. And to be honest, I've been thinking a lot about the combat in video games. I mean, we all love beating the souls out of things so much, they made a goddamn genre out of it, so it's clearly integral to our happiness, so who am I to judge? Hey, Sam, you're not playing Football Manager over there again, are you?
Ah, shit. No way, sir.
What's our rule here, Sam? You know it.
No dweebs.
Atta, buddy. No matter what your taste, you're more than likely gonna find some sort of bloodshed in the games you play, and I think I've finally figured out what makes the best video game combat. Now, I know video game combat is pretty damn vague. I'm aware of that, so today I'd like to break down what I believe to be the magic formula that makes perfect video game action, and the few games that I think came pretty close to nailing it. Okay, boys, get your pots and your pans, cause we're making Gamer Battle Soup! And all it takes is 5 ingredients. The first ingredient being...
Oh boy, give me some. Can I try a bite?
What? It's not even ready yet. Can someone get this guy off my set? Where is security? Okay, so the first ingredient is agency. Having the ability to move where you want, strike when you need to, and fight the way you want to fight is one of the most crucial aspects of video game battles. I believe that means one character with independent movement and a wide range of abilities. You should be able to see your target and instantly theorize how you want to handle the situation, meaning it has to be decently open world in a sense. Being able to not engage in combat is just as important as being able to. This can be done through stealth, optional segments, or even challenge areas where you get massive rewards for completing them, but it should be up to you.
Haha! A demon portal, where if I enter and destroy 10 ghouls in 20 seconds, I get 500 XP? That sounds pretty good!
If a game glues you to a narrow set path, it can really make playthroughs feel similar, which isn't necessarily bad, but variety is great, especially when talking to a friend about their playthrough. Yeah, man, I struggled with that third boss. It took me like 30 minutes of shooting arrows at his face to take him down.
Really? Are you serious? He's weak to bombs. You just set up one massive trap and kill him in one hit.
What? As fun as turn-based games can be, I think those games are more like resource management-filled chess battles, and I'm personally talking about games with more simulated combat. Most turn-based games can be played with a paper and pen, but if you physically want to play an action combat game, you'd have to do it a bit differently.
Hey, big bro. I don't think I want to play Batman with you anymore. And why do I have to be labeled goon number 27?
Okay, good. We're focused. Okay, our second ingredient is control. I'm just gonna say it. Button mashing is goddamn stupid. Combat should be fun and engaging. I want to fall in love and get married to the combat system.
I now pronounce you a depth-filled control scheme that rewards skilled play.
Oh, damn, the shit buzz. The control scheme should be pushed to its absolute limit. If the combat loop is mash 1 or 2 buttons, only to pause and hit the counter button when an enemy has a massive sign above their head, as cool as it may look, it's not really interesting. Fuck, you got like 37 buttons on these goddamn things. Use them. I want to see every button utilized and having its own purpose, then combine some buttons to have additional uses later on. If the game starts out simple, that's fine, but as time goes on, I want to see players moving their controller like they're a professional goddamn pianist. Weirdly enough, the actual camera placement can greatly impact what the control scheme can do, from movement options to combat. Rolling, blocking, and cover systems, for instance, some of the best features you can implement in an action game. You'll find most of the best versions of these in third-person games. First-person games will often add sliding, dashing, hovering, because it can be really disorienting to add additional animations that break that FPS flow. Let's take a look at Halo 4's dash and Halo 5's ground slam. Coming out of first person for a few seconds only to re-enter it again is super awkward and makes the flow of combat clunky and weird. Unless you're Doom, which has mastered FPS movement and gameplay, a game being first person can be a huge handicap when it comes to combat, especially if it's melee oriented. And that's coming from like the biggest stan of FPS games, alright? I shill for Halo 3 like every 9 milliseconds. When the camera is third person, the game can create way more scenarios for you to be the badass. Rotating 180 degrees to perfectly slap that backstabber you saw coming behind you? Or how about dodging 3 wolves at the same time because you see them coming from all angles? Taking damage from behind in first person feels more like a betrayal of your senses, or just, whoops, guess I took damage. First-person games will add that like radial danger indicator thing, or loud as hell music to let you know something is behind you. Finally, lunch break. Oh, fuck, are you kidding me? I said no pickle. Show yourself! Who's there?
What do you want from me?
So in summary, camera angles and complex but understandable controls can go a really long way. And now that we've got the actual player side of things down, let's move on to what the game should actually throw at us. Our third ingredient is imbalance. The goal of almost any action game is to overcome challenges and grow through player experience, but this should always be a tug-of-war style system. Slay many things, get stronger, lose battle, learn from mistakes.
If only I could learn from my mistakes.
The game should unleash obstacle after obstacle designed to challenge you, but in the end, for you also to succeed. It should train and teach the player multiple mechanics and enemy types and how to handle each one. But the second you get comfortable with them, it should completely weaponize that comfortability. Let's take our boy Carl over here. He's got a big shield and a lot of social anxiety.
Hey, why'd you have to tell him that?
Shut up! You can either flank him from behind or break his guard with a shove attack, staggering him and leaving him open to be slapped around a little bit. But once you're pretty good with that system, the game should introduce a new shield enemy that, when shoved, shoves back harder, making you fall on the ground and exposing your poop pants.
No, stop looking, please. I swear it's just dirt. It's just dirt.
In the same vein, difficulty and power levels should also change and adapt over time. An enemy type that at the beginning they might throw 1 or 2 at you, later on you should be able to mow down 5 or 6. You should be able to feel the progression. One of the worst things you can do is have every single thing scale with the player. If at level 1 you do 1 damage to a 10 health enemy, but at level 30 you do 10,000 damage to the same creature that now has 100,000 health, congratulations, literally nothing has changed.
Big number mean I'm big bad. You're falling for a government lie. You're a drone. Wake up. Wake up.
Who did someone drug my drink again? Was it you, Terry? God, I can't do this show anymore. Oh, what step are we on? 4? We're on the 4th one? Okay, fourth ingredient is, evolution. And no, for starters, I'm not talking about, like, Pokemon evolving. Dumbass, even Pokemon evolving can suck. Look at Crabominable, one of the worst evolutions ever, coming from a pretty good Pokemon, Cabrawler.
It's bullshit. I'm leaving.
What I'm talking about is the evolution and slow change of a game's combat and flow. If 20 hours goes by and you're not really doing anything different, either the game doesn't have meaningful changes for you to pick from, or whatever worked from the start is just good enough. The combat structure must have huge incentives or requirements for progression. The last thing you want is for the player to feel like they have to get through the combat sections. Skill trees, item scaling, permanent upgrades. These are some ways that you can advance a game's combat mechanics, but when you do them fucking right, please.
I don't want to see a skill tree filled with meaningless shit like 2% more damage with pistols. Swords now deal more damage to vegetarian scorpions.
Your toaster now toasts toast 18% faster.
Oh boy, this is definitely the height of fantasy.
Give me some comprehensive, interesting upgrades, man. I'm starving out here, please. You know a game's upgrades are good when you instantly wonder how you played the game without them. Now, I'm not saying the best combat has to involve deep, insanely complicated builds, but there's a sweet spot between fresh and interesting gameplay options and bogging a player down with needless choice or completely abandoning progression as a whole. It is all about the balance, baby. Now, before we get to the final ingredient, you probably have some ideas in your head of some games that have all of these components.
Yeah, over here, Assassin's Creed.
Your first thought might be, wouldn't fighting games obviously have the best combat? And that's a tricky one because clearly games like Tekken, Smash, For Honor have really varied, interesting fighting mechanics and anyone can play them for hours. But one of the main points I'm trying to make, and as crazy as it seems, it's that I think combat in games transcend the actual fighting aspect. It's the risk management, the one versus the world factor, it's the quest and the reward. There's so much more that goes into immersive action combat than the actual battles themselves. Does that make sense, or am I just stupid? Anyway, that finally brings me to the final ingredient, and without this, the others fall apart completely. So the final thing we have to add is clarity. Basically, just understanding what the fuck is even going on here. One of the worst things a game can do, and it might be my only critique with Doom, is when a game slowly, beautifully hypes up a boss or enemy just to have some
Hey, here's this guy's exact weaknesses and stuff.
some pop-up appear telling you exactly how to beat the enemy or what to do. It completely takes away your involvement as a player and moves to a game of you reading a fucking manual on how to build a goddamn IKEA chair. Abilities, enemies, traveling, inventory systems. A game should be able to convey its own systems through the gameplay. Returnal does an excellent job with its color-coded item and projectile system, where you can be making 1,000 choices in a second, yet it comes so naturally. Short tutorials are one thing, but when the gameplay often takes a backseat to the literal tutorials about the gameplay, your game is backwards. We've all been there. We've taken a long break from a game, maybe a month or two, and when we hop back into a non-intuitive combat-filled game, it's like learning a fucking language again. In addition to this, a game should be able to convey weakness and strength through cause and effect. Show me me that dude doesn't like water. Show me how my sword ricochets off the arms of the dragon but slices through the tail like hot butter. I'm a functioning man with a functioning brain. Let me figure things out. This is a goddamn video game. It's meant to be played. With all of these ingredients combined, understanding agency, control, imbalance, evolution, and finally clarity, one thing brings all of these aspects together, and it's their mutual love for discovery and imagination. A good combat system will act almost like a puzzle, asking of you answer after answer, be that correct button presses, stat management, timing, reflex, knowledge of your surroundings, and if you successfully solve that puzzle, your reward is involvement in a fantastic world.
Hey, get on with it! We got shit to do!
Man, shut up! We gave you free tickets! The hell are you complaining about, man? Well, I mean, anyway, our gamer soup is done, so let's just see what game we made, I guess.
Boy.
Interesting combat scenarios with varied enemies, all with different weaknesses and balance. Some of, if not the best feeling controls I've ever seen in a combat-centric game, where every button matters and the literal controller scheme evolves with the player. Difficulty ranges from pretty easy to skill trees, items, and combat upgrades that wildly impact actual gameplay. Fluid but weighty animations that blend seamlessly together, accompanied by incredible sound design. God, it's so good! I could literally go on and on about how God of War ticks all 5 boxes that I previously mentioned, but is it perfect? And the truth is, no game's combat is perfect. Some may come closer than others, but it's honestly up to you to find what you like. But I fully believe using these 5 criteria can really help you narrow it down, and you might even play some games you never thought you would before. If you want to play some games with incredible combat that I fully recommend, there you go. Enjoy, go have fun. But if I can leave you with one thing today, it's that games that require you to hit the counter button 1,000,000 times over are fucking stupid. Fuck you all!